My brother said that my 9-year-old daughter was not up to their level and could not be in his wedding photos. She was 9 years old. She asked me why her uncle said that. I told her. She was perfect. Then I withdrew the $22,000 I had already transferred for his honeymoon rehearsal dinner and gifts for the groomsmen. His best man called me. The cards were declined for everything. I said coldly, I know. My brother's wedding day started at 7:18 a.m. in the bridal suite of the Hampton Inn in Durham, North Carolina, with hairspray in the air and my daughter's little patent shoes lined up like soldiers. Mom, do I look fancy? Pamela asked, spinning once in the mirror. You look perfect, I said, pinning a loose curl behind her ear. The door was half open. People kept floating in and out like it was a train station. My brother Greg's best man, Derek, walked past carrying garment bags. My mom hovered with a steaming travel mug. My brother's fiancée Grace sat in a white robe while a makeup artist stabbed under her eyes. Pamela clutched a tiny bouquet someone had made for her out of leftover baby's breath. She'd been practicing her smile all week, teeth showing, chin down, eyes bright. At 9:02 a.m., Greg walked in. He looked good. Trimmed beard, navy suit, the kind of confident posture he only had when he was being celebrated. He spotted Pamela and paused like he'd found a piece from the wrong puzzle. Hey, kiddo, he said. Not unkind, just careful. Pamela beamed. Hi, Uncle Greg. Grace's sister Tori leaned toward me and whispered, She's adorable. I mouthed, Thank you. The photographer, a woman named April with a camera harness and a clipboard, tapped her pen. Okay, we're doing family photos at 10:15. Immediate family first, then bridal party. Greg adjusted his cufflinks. Cool. One thing. April looked up. Yep. Greg's eyes slid to Pamela again. He didn't look at her the way you look at a kid you love. He looked at her like a variable. Pamela can't be in the wedding photos, he said. I blinked. What? Grace's makeup brush stopped midair. The room went quiet in that specific way. That means everyone heard. And nobody wants to be the one to respond. Greg cleared his throat like he was about to explain a budget line item. She's not up to their level. My mouth went dry. Their level? Grace finally looked at me through the mirror. Her expression was neutral, practiced. It's just the vibe, she said, soft like she was offering a reasonable compromise. Pamela's smile faded, slow. She looked at me, then at Greg. Uncle Greg? She asked. What level? I felt my hands go cold. My brain started counting the way it does when it's trying to stay functional. 1 child, 1 brother, 1 photographer, too many adults pretending this was normal. Greg kept his tone calm, almost annoyed that feelings existed. Pamela, sweetie, it's not about you. It's just important people are here. Pamela's fingers tightened around the little bouquet. She didn't cry. She just got very still. I stepped closer to her and put my hand on her shoulder. Her skin was warm under my palm. Mine felt like ice. She's 9, I said. Greg sighed like I was making this complicated. Yeah, and this is our day, Pamela whispered, barely audible. Did I do something bad? That sentence hit my ribs like a punch. My throat burned. I crouched so my eyes were level with hers. No, I said. You didn't do anything. You are perfect. Do you hear me? Her eyes stayed on mine, searching. Then why did he say that? I stood up. I looked straight at Greg, and I didn't scream. I did math because 3 days earlier, on Wednesday, February 19th at 6:43 p.m., I had transferred $22,000 from my checking account at Truist to cover his honeymoon deposit, the rehearsal dinner catering, and gifts for the groomsmen because Greg texted me, Sis, you're literally saving us. I'll pay you back after the wedding. My hands were still cold when I pulled my phone out. Greg noticed and frowned. What are you doing? Fixing something, I said. I walked out of the bridal suite with Pamela, my heels clicking too loud in the hallway. "Mom?" she asked. "Small?" "I'm right here," I said. "Stay with me." In the elevator, my fingers shook so hard I missed the button once. Pamela watched my face like it was a forecast. When we got to the lobby, I sat on a couch near the fake fireplace, opened my banking app, and stared at the transfer history. Pamela sat beside me, swinging her feet. Quiet. Too quiet. I withdrew the $22,000 I had already transferred for his honeymoon, rehearsal dinner, and gifts for the groomsmen. At 9:27 a.m., my phone rang. Derek's name lit up the screen. I answered on the first ring. His voice came out sharp and panicked. "Hey, so the cards were declined for everything." I stared at the hotel carpet pattern like it might tell me how to breathe. I said coldly, "I know. My name is Christina. I am 34 years old and work as a sales representative for a pharmaceutical supply company in Raleigh. I am not rich. I am simply an organized person and do not allow my life to drift along with the tide. Pamela's 9, third grade, loves chapter books and those tiny erasers shaped like fruit. She's the kind of kid who says, 'Excuse me' to the dog when she needs to get by. Greg is 31, my little brother. Charming in a way that's fun until it's weaponized. He's always had this gift of making his problems sound like your responsibility. Our family language is full of soft words for hard things. Be flexible. Don't make it a scene. Help him out. He's under stress. Family helps. When Greg proposed to Grace last summer, my mom cried and said, this is the fresh start he needed. Greg immediately started texting me like I'd been promoted to wedding finance. The first time was August 3rd, 2025. Greg, can you spot me $1,500 for the venue deposit? Grace's dad is weird about money and it's embarrassing. Me, why are you paying the deposit if her family is the one with money? Greg, it's just optics. I'll pay you back. He didn't. September 14th, he called me while I was in the pickup line at Pamela's school. Hey, he said, voice bright. Quick favor. There are two kinds of quick favors. The kind that means, can you grab ice? And the kind that means, can you set yourself on fire to keep me warm? I'm in the car line, I said. Perfect, Greg replied, like that made it easier to manipulate me. So we found a photographer we love, but they want half up front. Can you put it on your card, and we'll pay you back after we get wedding gifts? I stared at the dashboard. Pamela's teacher waved as kids climbed into cars. I felt my stomach tighten. I already gave you money, I said. Greg laughed. You're my sister. Don't be weird. That phrase, don't be weird, is one he's used since we were teenagers. It means, don't set boundaries. I swallowed it because Pamela was in the back seat listening to every word even when she looked like she wasn't. Fine, I said. Send me the invoice. He did. $3,200 paid. October 22nd, Grace texted me directly. Grace, hey Christina, can you do the rehearsal dinner? Greg says you're really good at planning. We want it nice but simple. Nice but simple is wedding code for expensive, but don't complain. I said yes anyway because I was still stuck in the old role. Keep it smooth. Don't make it a scene. Then came the incident that should have snapped me awake. December 7th, we were at my mom's house for an early Christmas dinner. Pamela wore a green dress with tiny gold stars. She'd picked it herself. Grace's mom, Diane, looked Pamela up and down and said, smiling, she's cute. Not beautiful, not lovely. Cute like a puppy with muddy paws. Greg leaned over and whispered to me, make sure Pamela doesn't get too loud tonight. Grace's family is particular. Pamela heard him. I know she did because her shoulders went stiff and she folded her hands in her lap like she was at a funeral. After dinner in the kitchen, I finally said it. Greg, you keep talking about Grace's family like they're judges. Greg rolled his eyes. You don't get it. They're on a different level. Different level. The phrase was already rehearsed in him months before the wedding day. I should have seen that. I thought it was temporary. It wasn't. By January, Greg was sending me spreadsheets. Actual spreadsheets. "Look," he said on a Sunday call, "we're just short-term cash flowing, but after the wedding we'll have gifts and checks and we'll settle up." I remember staring at my own kitchen table, Pamela coloring beside me, and thinking, he's talking like a businessman. But I'm the one paying. I was swallowing it because I thought that's what you do for family. Meanwhile, Pamela was learning to shrink. She'd started asking me questions before family events. "Mom," she'd say, voice careful, "what are the rules again?" And I'd answer like I was training her for a high-stakes interview instead of a wedding. "Say congratulations, don't interrupt. Stay close to me. Don't touch anything that isn't yours." One night she asked, "Is Uncle Greg mad at me?" I laughed too fast. "No, of course not," but my chest hurt when I said it. After Derek's call, I didn't move from that lobby couch for a full 10 seconds. My brain did that thing where it tries to keep you from panicking by giving you tasks. Breathe, count. Hold your face still. Pamela watched me, rabbit still, bouquet in her lap like it had turned into a burden. "Mom," she said, "are we leaving?" "Yes," I said. "We're leaving." My phone buzzed immediately after I hung up with Derek. "Greg, what the hell did you do?" I didn't reply. Then another buzz. "Grace, Christina, this is not the time for drama." I stared at that message until the words stopped looking like words and started looking like proof. Receipts folder. That's what I called it in my head. I opened a new note on my phone and started listing. 9:02 a.m. Greg, not up to their level. Excluded from photos. 9:27 a.m. Derek called. Cards declined. I took screenshots of the bank withdrawal confirmation, the exact amount, the timestamp, the transaction ID. Then my phone rang again. This time, it was my mother. I answered because part of me still had that reflex. Her voice came out low and urgent. "Christina, what is going on?" "What's going on?" I said. Greg told my 9-year-old she's not up to their level. My mom exhaled like she was irritated at me for saying it out loud. "He didn't mean it like that." "How did he mean it?" I asked. Silence. Then she tried the family language. "Honey, it's his wedding. Don't make a scene." I looked at Pamela. Her eyes were down. She was rubbing the baby's breath between her fingers like she was trying to disappear. "I'm not making a scene," I said. "I'm leaving." "Christina," my mom started. "I am not available for explaining my child's worth to grown adults," I said. "Tell Greg to stop calling me." I ended the call. Pamela swallowed. "Am I embarrassing?" she asked, like she hated herself for even saying it. My heart did that heavy drop thing. I turned my whole body toward her. "No," I said. "You are not embarrassing. They are being cruel." She blinked hard. "But Uncle Greg is family." I nodded once. "Yes, and family doesn't get a free pass to hurt you." We walked out of that hotel together. I carried her little jacket. She carried nothing because she was 9 and she shouldn't have to carry other people's ugliness. Outside, the sky was bright and cold. Wedding guests were arriving in heels and suits, laughing, holding garment bags, acting like love was the only thing happening today. As I buckled Pamela into the back seat of my Honda CR-V, my phone started lighting up like a slot machine. "Derek, Christina, please call me back." "Greg, answer me." "Grace, you're ruining." "Il est a ring," Pamela whispered. "Are they going to be mad at us?" "They can be mad," I said, starting the car. "They can feel whatever they want. We're still leaving." I drove to the nearest Truist branch because my brain wanted a physical receipt, not just a digital one. I wanted paper. I wanted a teller. I wanted the universe to understand this was real. The teller printed the transaction history without blinking. I folded it and put it in my purse next to Pamela's emergency snacks. Back in the car, I finally called Derek back, because Derek wasn't the enemy. Derek was just the guy stuck holding the bag. He answered immediately. "Christina, Oh my God, what's happening? We're at the florist and the card got declined. Then the catering company called and Greg is freaking out. I withdrew the money, I said. Derek's voice went thin. Why? Because my brother told my 9-year-old she's not up to their level. A pause. What did he say? Derek asked, quieter now. I repeated it exactly. Not up to their level. She can't be in the wedding photos. Derek exhaled hard. Jesus, I'm not arguing about it, I said. I'm not negotiating. I'm not explaining. Greg said you promised. Derek said like he was trying to find the lever that would make me fold. I did promise, I said. And then he showed me who he is. Derek tried again. Softer. Christina, there are contracts, deposits, people are going to be calling. They can call Greg, I said. He is the groom. Then Derek said the line I'll never forget, because it was so casually revealing. Look, he said. Grace's family is going to be embarrassed. I felt my mouth curve into something that wasn't a smile. Good, I said. I ended the call. Then the next wave hit. Greg called. I answered because I wanted him to hear my voice, calm even, not begging. What did you do? He snapped, like I'd stolen from him. I withdrew my money, I said. Your money? Greg barked a laugh. It was for my wedding. It was for your wedding, I agreed. Because you asked me to pay for things you couldn't afford. You can't do this today, he said. This is insane. What's insane, I said, is you humiliating a 9-year-old. I didn't humiliate her, he shot back. I was protecting the aesthetic. These photos are forever. I looked in the rearview mirror. Pamela was staring out the window. Silent, shoulders tight. Greg, I said, tell me exactly what you meant by not up to their level. He didn't answer directly. He tried to reframe. You're overreacting, he said. You always do this. You take something and make it into a moral crusade. I kept my voice steady. Where is Pamela in your wedding day? She's with you, he said impatiently. No, I said. Where is she in your family? He got quiet. Then he said it, finally, like he thought honesty would end the conversation. She's not part of it like that, he said. Grace's family is paying attention. They don't understand issues. Issues? I repeated. She's intense, he said. She asks too many questions. She doesn't act like they're kids. Pamela had asked Grace's niece once, "Do you like dogs?" That was her crime. I felt something click into place in me. Not rage, clarity. You are not safe for my child, I said. Greg's voice went sharp. Don't be dramatic. I'm being exact, I said. You don't get access to her if you talk about her like she's a problem. So, you're punishing me? He said, changing tactics. Over photos? I'm protecting my daughter, I said. And also, yes, the money is gone. Greg's breathing got loud. We already charged things. I know, I said. That's why the cards declined. Christina, he said, voice suddenly pleading. You can't do this. You're going to screw us. I stared at the road and let my voice go colder. You screwed yourselves when you decided my child was beneath you. Then I said the sentence I didn't even know I'd been holding. I'm done auditioning. And I hung up. That's when I stopped arguing and started documenting. I pulled into a parking lot, opened my email, and searched Greg's messages. There it was, his text from Wednesday. Transfer it today so we can run the cards this weekend. I screenshotted it. I opened Grace's messages. We need the groomsmen gifts by Friday. Screenshot. I opened the wedding group chat where Greg had sent the honeymoon link with, Christina's got us, thank God. Screenshot. Then I created a folder in my phone called Receipts and dropped everything in it like I was building a case file. Pamela from the back seat finally spoke. Are we still going to the wedding? She asked, voice tiny. I turned to look at her. No, I said gently. We're not. She nodded once like she'd expected it. That part made me feel sick. That quiet acceptance told me everything about what she'd already learned from being around them. I started the car again, and I made a quiet plan. I didn't go home. I went to the place my sister-in-law-to-be controlled best, the family group chat. At 12:11 p.m., I pulled into a grocery store parking lot so I wouldn't explode. Pamela sat beside me eating a granola bar. "Mom, are you mad?" "I'm calm," I said. Calm isn't the same as okay. I opened Greg and Grace wedding weekend and wrote one sentence. I attached 3 screenshots: the transfer, the withdrawal confirmation, and Greg's text telling me to send it so the cards could be run. Since Greg told my 9-year-old she's not up to their level and can't be in family photos, I withdrew the $22,000 I paid for the honeymoon, rehearsal dinner, and groomsmen gifts. Do not contact me or Pamela today. 30 seconds of silence, then chaos. "Mom, Christina, what is wrong with you?" "Dad, call me now." "Grace, you're lying." "Greg, delete that." "Diane, Grace's mom. We don't appreciate being threatened." "Threatened?" I stared at the word. Derek called again. Unknown numbers followed. I ignored them. Mom texted privately, "You are humiliating your brother. Fix this." I replied with one word, "No." Then I made it irreversible. I opened my banking app and locked the card Greg had for emergencies. I removed him as an authorized user. I forwarded every vendor invoice I'd paid to Greg with one line. "Per today's decision to exclude my child, all future payments are your responsibility." I CC'd Grace and my mom. No emotions, just clarity. Voicemails started. "Derek, Christina, please. Greg is losing it. Grace's dad is screaming at the coordinator. They're saying you stole. Please call me back." "Stole?" I saved the voicemail. Pamela whispered, "Are we in trouble?" "No," I said, hand on her knee. "We're safe. They can be mad. They're not allowed to be mean to you." At 12:41 p.m., Greg texted, "If you don't fix this, don't ever talk to me again." A threat, dressed as a boundary. I wrote back, agreed. "Do not contact me or Pamela. We won't be attending. If you need money, ask the people whose level matters to you." Then I blocked Greg, blocked Grace, and muted the chat. The car felt quiet in a new way. Access removed. That night, we ordered pizza and ate in pajamas. Halfway through, Pamela asked, "Are you sad?" "I'm sad Uncle Greg chose that." "I'm not sad about protecting you," I said. Then she asked, "Am I really not their level?" "Levels are something insecure adults invent so they can be cruel without admitting it," I told her. Sunday morning, my mom showed up with a grocery store cake that said, "Congrats, Greg and Grace." Like nothing happened. I didn't invite her in. "You embarrassed the family," she said. "Greg embarrassed himself," I replied. "You ruined his wedding." "He ruined his relationship with his niece. I'm not negotiating that." Mom tried the soft voice. "He didn't mean it. He was stressed. Then he can apologize to Pamela." "He won't. He thinks you overreacted. Then this stays." "So, that's it? You're cutting off your brother." "I'm cutting off access to my child," I said. "That's the difference. You're teaching Pamela to be unforgiving. I'm teaching her love doesn't require auditions." She left the cake on my porch like a punishment. After she drove off, Pamela asked, "Do we have to eat it?" "No," I said. "We threw it away together. Not dramatic, just done." 2 weeks later, Greg emailed from a new address. "We should move on." 3 sentences. I made a big deal out of nothing. Grace's family still talks. I owe them an apology. Nothing for Pamela, just reputation management. I didn't answer. I printed it and filed it with my receipts. One night, Pamela climbed into my bed and whispered, "I like our level." "Me too," I told her. If I were to draw conclusions, here's what I can say. It was never about money. If someone can rank a child and call her not their level, they don't deserve access to her at any level. I didn't raise my voice once. I just stopped funding people who could look at my kid like she was a problem. Quiet doesn't mean weak. It means final. For good, too. Ever.